Okay, hello. So, yeah. There was talk about taking a look at these Tarana RNs. The receiving node? Remote node? I don't know. Whatever. All I know is that you guys wanted it, and just coincidentally, I got my hands on one. Thank you very, very much to an individual that I will not mention, just in case they weren't supposed to do that. But the point is I got my hands on one. So, let's open it up and see what's inside. Okay, so this is the Tarana client station. I don't have the epic awesome mounting bracket that it actually comes with because it really is epic awesome. They spared no expense on the builds on these things. Let's take a look at the front of it, by the way. Because my workbench is dirty. And this thing rode home in the back of my truck. I'll have to wash that. So anyway, here we go. Let's flip it back over. You've got your port here. There's your Ethernet port and your Ethernet, RF, and status indicators. Of course, this is threaded, I believe, at 1/2 inch, so you can actually put whatever fitting you want on it. Let's flip it over. Oh ho! Look at that. Look at that beam. Is that beam forming or beam steering? I still haven't clarified that, but let's look at the design on this. This is pretty damn cool. So how many elements? Oh my god, it smells like an old radio shop. I'm not even joking. Like when you walk into one of those places where they did like point-to-point wiring and like... Oh my god, the PCB smells amazing. Okay, so each one of these are a little element and they are suspended by this plastic here. This is so cool. So we've got like this little plastic piece, and then underneath are the actual broadcast elements. So the actual elements are underneath of these little guys here. Maybe, let me see if I can just take one off. So I don't want to cause it any harm. Nice. I think this will spin off real easy without causing any PITA. Let's put these guys aside. My nose is stuffy. I don't have the Rona or anything. I'm just... Every year around this time, usually just before the first snow, so I'm like a weather vane that way, I catch a nasty cold. So here it is. It's off. I see it's clipped together, so let me see if I can carefully unbutton this. Let's see here. My tweezers. There we go. And that is on there tight. There we go. And there is a pin there. So first, let's take a look at this. All right, so let's carefully flip this over. There's some clips on the back here, and the circuit board is able to slide a little bit, but we're not going to slide. I'm just going to pop these two pins off on the side. Now look at the back of this thing. So I want to point out something else as well. Okay, so this is lying this way, okay? So this is like this. And actually, sorry, it was this way. My bad. It was lying like this. Okay, so we've got... These actually look like waveguides now that I look at it a little bit better. See, like these are just... See, this is a question for like Tassos. This is a Tassos question because these are like little plates. And I'm not sure if they're working as a waveguide or if they're working as reflectors. Because like these here look like transparent sections that the signal is reflected through, and then these are for isolation. Those are shields. So if we roll this a little bit. Yeah. Cool. Alright, so if we roll this on the back here, you can actually see the actual elements underneath here. They're printed right onto this board. That's really cool. Now, actually, you know what I really want to do? What's the best way to do this? I've got an idea. Let's put this aside here for a second, because I can actually show you guys what this thing looks like. Let's see if I can use my little whiteboard here on my desk of detritus. Let's see here. If I put a little bit, if if I can shadow this just a tiny bit, you might be able to see into it. Or, I wonder if I can get this. Oh, you know what? Let's try this. I got an idea. Where is it? It's on my desk. My desk has gotten worse lately because I've been like away for a month. Okay, let's do this. So I'm going to turn off one of my lights. Make it a little bit darker. Now, I can put this underneath. Now, I'm going to turn off both. Let's see how that works. Okay. See that? Do you see the element, how it's going through there? So you can see that we've got one piece that crosses there. Look at these two. So on these top ones here, there's a crosser. Okay? And then there's, yeah, so there's three little elements that go through that. See, like so. Do I have a better flashlight I can show you guys this with? I'm using a black light flashlight. Actually, I should be right underneath would be a smarter idea. See that? You can see. Maybe I'll put it a little bit closer. There we go. You see that? Fascinating. If we bring it down here, again, you can see that the little elements cross over that. Isn't that neat? This is a really clever design. I'm going to give them kudos for that. Now let's flip this over. We're going to roll it. And you can see the little crosses again. And if you look closely, you'll be able to see the little dots of the copper, the little crosses in the cross itself, right? See them? Roll it again. You could get a look at it. See? Isn't that neat? So these little antenna arrays are actually really cool. All right, so I'm going to put this back on here so I don't wreck it, because this is a very expensive piece of equipment, and I'm always nervous when I take apart expensive pieces of equipment because I'm very much Z-Bull in the China shop, and my hands are as dry as hell right now. They are sanitized, so that's probably a good thing, because I don't want to get my icky, disgusting, acidic shite from my fingers all over this and cause corrosion on the board, because that would also affect the signal. All right, now we're going to plug in these micro UHF connectors, yeah, and reattach the leads and plug them perfectly. Perfect. Okay, let's do this. Awesome. Now I am going to reattach these. Let's see here. And that's just the antenna array. We haven't even gotten into the meat and potatoes of this yet. By the way, I'm going to be doing this in one take because, you know, I suck and I don't have an editor. And honestly, I'm just tired of dealing with people in general. So, I mean, like, I'm just going to try to do this all on my own. I mean, hey, my favorite YouTubers in the whole wide world do the video and the editing all by themselves. And there's no reason why I can't. I just have to make sure that I don't have to do a lot of work. All right, here we go. We've got 2 more screws to put back in. And where's the other one? Should be right here. Next to the lobster. Let me drop it somewhere. Where did it go underneath? I am such a bloody disaster. Maybe I'll have to edit the, or review the video after and see if I can locate the bloody thing. I'm not concerned. I have more of these screws in a drawer over there anyway. So as you can see, I've got these little special plastic washers, or nuts as well. So. That's a jump cut. I'm pretty sure that it's on the bench. No, I'm not worried about that. I'll find it after. Anyway, so let's get into this now. And actually, just to be on the safe side, so I don't forget, I'm going to put this one here. So, notice that they're using nylon, by the way, nylon screws. And just an FYI, you can also buy these exact screws at Home Depot if you guys end up having to work on one of these guys. So, let's see here. We're going up a couple sizes here. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. La 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 la. So it looks like this is actually a plate with a gasket. It sits over top. That one there. Now, because all the wires are down here, I'm assuming they're going to have to fold this in the direction that the wires are in. And by the way, this looks like it's version 4.0. What are we at for time? 11 minutes. Oh, one more. Well, I'm kind of nervous about this. This is an expensive thing to be taking apart, just in case I end up wrecking it. It is a sacrificial lamb, though, because one of the reasons why I've got it in my possession is because they wanted me to do a teardown, and they wanted us to familiarize ourselves with the parts internally, so that they can send these to us for repair if need be. Let's see here. Oh, would you look at that? Oh, it's like there's like a pad on there. Okay, so what's the best way to do this? I think the best way to do this is to expose it like this. Very, very, very carefully. Look at that silk screening. And there should be an Easter egg on this board somewhere. It'll be like a fish or a spider or like a little rocket ship or something like that. All right, so this is the radio board right here. Now, if we look here, this is the stuff that Thomas would answer questions on. So we've got some mixing, or actually I think those are filters. These are cavity filters, I believe, these little guys right here. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which I believe that there's 1, 2, 8, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 arrays, or 4 strings of arrays, with 8, yeah, that's what they are. So like 0, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical. So this is kind of like a Medusa. It can be a Medusa in a way, the way that it's been built. And that's probably why it's so good at defeating obstructions and getting high throughput. It's because it's using like different aspects of this array to reassemble the signal if it gets diffused or damaged or whatnot on its way here. By the way, you know what's really cool? Did you know that red light can actually help repair your vision? I shit you not, I've been experimenting with it and it's working pretty damn good. Got a near-infrared floodlight, a red one. I thought it was all hokey hippie BS, right? And I'm like, okay, well, I'll try it. So like 20 minutes a day, morning and night, and you do it long enough and it actually replenishes the muscles or something in your eyes. It's really kind of cool. So, here we go. I'm always experimenting with things, and sometimes experimenting on myself. I did a lot of experimentation in high school. All right, here we go. So this is the radio board. Now I was very, very careful about this. Ooh, look at the goop on there. So they're not using pads, they're actually using goop. And let's take a close look at that. Look at the connectors on here. Isn't that cool? Fascinating. Look at these connectors. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to get some pictures of this as well for Thomas. I have not seen a radio that's been built like this. This is beyond cool. This is like really, really bloody cool. All right. Look at this. Okay, so this is mostly power. It looks like there's some chips here. So let's get this board off now. And you guys, I know that you guys want me to tell you what these chips are. So you probably want me to clean those chips off and tell you what they are. But I'm pretty sure I'm already getting myself into some dangerous waters by taking this apart in the first place. So I really don't want to piss anybody off. And I can tell you right now, by looking at these chips, all the chips are custom branded Tarana. If I can find a common chip, like a generic one on here, I'll let you know. But these are all custom silicone from Tarana. So I'm not going to give away any more details than that. I'm sorry if I disappoint you about that, okay? But I don't feel like getting sued. Not that they could for doing this, because there's no like NDA or whatever, but it's out of respect for a developer who put all the time into creating this product. I don't want to be the one to expose it, because like by all means, you know that eventually one of these guys are going to find its way to somebody who's going to reverse engineer it, send all the documents over to somebody else who's then going to create a cheap knockoff product of this and then sell it. That's inevitable. It always happens. I mean, hell, look what TP-Link did with Ubiquiti. Or Cambium reverse engineering Ubiquiti's firmware and creating Elevate. Wow. Hello here. What is that? That is a CPU. And actually, you know what? I think I'm going to take advantage of the amount of goober that's on here. I'm going to just fold this in a little bit, because I might actually take this chip and figure out what it is, because this looks like a CPU. And my cat's puking. Okay, Tank? Alright, let's clean that silicone off. I'm actually going to clean it off first, and then I'll see what it is at my discretion, and then let you guys know if it looks like something that I could probably expose, because that's actually... The radio board's the radio board, by the way, and I forget what the code for red is. I think a red PCB means that it's CMOS. I can't remember. It's been so bloody long. There's a reason why it's red. But this green board here is basically... This is the computer. This is like literally the computer and everything. And there's a reset button right there, by the way. I found a reset button. So let me see what the chip is first. That's more custom silicone. So I'm not comfortable telling you guys what that is. Not that it matters anyway, because I'm pretty sure that if I actually divulged this information to you, you're not going to be able to find these chips online. I'm pretty sure that there's US patents on all the chips in this thing. So you're not going to find it. But anyway, just out of pure respect for the guys at Tarana, I am not going to expose anything chip-wise. I'm just trying to get a little bit of the goop. Let's see here. I'm going to smear it all over the chip again so you guys can't read that. Just sometimes I can be thoughtful and not a total dick. And this is going to be one of those times. So that's a custom Tarana chip. This is just standard ISSI memory. This is just a standard Ethernet controller, I'm sure of it. Let's see here. Let me see. Sorry, that's the Ethernet controller. What do we have here? That looks like a Marvel. Looks like a Marvel Ethernet controller. Here's the DC system over here, the power system here. Tarana Wireless, digital PCB. I'm not seeing the Easter egg on here, so, hey, dudes at development at Tarana, I hope that the execs aren't too hard on you and don't let you do your little Easter eggs on your boards, because, you know, that's kind of a rite of passage. When you spend all this time developing something, you're allowed to put a little fish or something on it somewhere. I'm kind of sad for you guys that's not there. That's tight corporate regiment. This board is heavy, by the way. It's got a lot of gold in it. I'm impressed. That's really cool. So now I'm going to reseat this thing. Now that you guys have seen inside of it, okay? Now that you guys have seen inside of it. Because that's what you wanted. You wanted me to do a teardown. You wanted me to show you what's inside of these things. I have held my end of the bargain. And I have also, I'm pretty sure, not pissed off the corporate overlords that would probably crucify me for doing this. Okay. Now right here, UARTO. So that's probably a TTL or a serial... Are you not feeling good, Tank? It's specifically the cat food that I bought. Here's the one cat food that makes her sick. My bad. I suck. Off the bag, and put it aside and grab the other one. Okay, so anyway, where was I? Look at the connectors here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 4 radio chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 radio chains. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 radio sets here. So each one of these has its own direct lane back to the CPU, it looks like. And then you've got these guys here, these controllers. These are the radio frequency ICs right here, it looks like. These are the ADACs, whatever an ADAC is. So we've got 5 ADACs, 3 RFICs, and then the rest of the magic happening here. Okay, so anyway, that's this guy here. Let me put it back together. I try to also keep the videos short because one of the reasons why I had an editor before was because everybody's complains about how long my videos can get. So I'm trying to be more mindful of how long I take when I'm doing these videos and trying to keep them short and to the point. There. This is a thick, heavy board, by the way, like really heavy board. Okay, I'm gonna put these little spacers back in here. There we go. And I'm gonna put the screws back in for this. Now, it looks like, I want to call it Loctite, but I don't think it is. It's like blue. It could be very well be Loctite. I think these things are hand-built. I've seen a couple of telltale signs that these things very well could be hand-built, and for the price, I would assume that they are. There we go, and let's, look at the length of these fucking screws, man. This is like really intense. This is like very, very heavy stuff. These boards are very, very thick. Like really thick boards. Like, let me see here. Let me get a ruler. Four millimeters. Wow. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do 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 do. Hey, copyright. Unless the people at Jim Henson Studios are still chill about that. Come on, I grew up on Sesame Street, alright? And that, like, pinball machine thing, every single time, it's like, wow, it's cool. I don't know if that's the autism, but it's just like, wow, that was so cool. Groovy 70s stimulation. Hey, do you guys remember the Underground Railroad? Or was it the Secret Railroad? It was like a cartoon. It was really, really, really neat. Here we go. ADHD ahoy. There we go. Let's put that back in there. Cool. All right, she's all back together. I'm just going to torque these carefully. Okay, I got 2 more to go in. This one and this one. These are the 2 long ones. Man, these are some chonky, thick boards, I'm telling you. And by the way, if that was Loctite and I was supposed to be like really holding this thing on, it didn't work because I don't think I put like 2 pounds on that to loosen it off. All right. So we've got our, I think that's for thermal expansion right there to prevent it from occurring. Let's see here. we go. So that's all that there is to it. Now, because Thomas needs to actually come down and take a look at this thing, I am not going to completely reassemble it. Now, by the way, look at the gasket that they used on here. That's really nice. It's actually a hollow gasket, so it's got, isn't that nice? See, it like opens up, goes over the rim of this piece of plastic here, the interior, and seals it. It's actually like, what do they call that? It's a two-stage? I can't remember the production term for it, but wow. So this is very well built. It's very complex. And for those of you out there who are complaining about the price of this thing, you know what? This is like Gen 1, okay? Brand new product that a company has developed. They went the way of like reinventing the wheel and bringing this thing to you guys. And you can tell from the build of this is that there's a lot of effort that went into this, and this is a pretty, like, even if the radio tech isn't the most advanced, it's just kind of a play on some existing technologies. It's still really well built, and I mean, like, that's a lot of really custom work. Plus, it looks like all the silicone, all the chips are customs. They're all Tarana chips, everything except for the most rudimentary chip being the Ethernet chip, and so I'm impressed. There. You guys got your Tarana G1 RN Teardown. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, if you guys want to help support me and the channel, just you can join me on the Patreon. Don't forget to like and subscribe, tell your friends, and if you guys have any cool shit that you want to send me to tear apart, or you want any tutorials, just get a hold of me on Facebook and let me know what you guys want to see. I do have more stuff coming. I just picked up a bunch of Cisco equipment. I'm doing my CCNA so I can start teaching you guys Cisco and Microtech. I'm also training on RouterOS 7 now, by the way. And yes, I am going to be working on IPv6, but you know what? The network berg's already probably miles ahead of me on all of that stuff, and he's actually pretty entertaining to watch too, so that's why I've kind of slacked off a little bit on the Microtech tutorials, is because he's 10 times better at it than I am. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Love you. We'll see ya.